My name's Graeme McIntosh. I'm the Director of Performance Marketing at Torstar, which is just a fancy word for basically my job is to make sure that the stuff we do for our partners works. And that's what we're going to talk about today, because works and marketing mean different things to every different type of business, whether you're a contractor, landscaper, garden center, and depending on where you're at in your business cycle, it's going to be different as well. So that's the discussion we're going to have today, and we're going to get some feedback from everybody. We're going to learn from everybody as well, and take that journey together. And I'm going to say this, and I'll probably say it a few times. The only thing that matters in marketing is what matters to you and your business. There's so much minutia and BS and acronyms and things in marketing these days that all we're going to do today is focus on what matters to you. And my goal today is to make the clicker work. There we go. My goal today is to hopefully have everybody self-identify what matters to them and understand what a strategy might look like for you and your business when it comes to marketing. Some of you might need a little bit. Some of you might need a lot. And have you go away today and hopefully maybe put an idea or two into action for your business. Sound fair? All right. So what you're going to need today is your phone, a pen, paper, your brain, and your voice. Everybody got that? Check, check. We got that? All right, cool. So here's the agenda. We're going to talk about your customers, what you know about your customers. This is going to be really, really important first start to understand how you're going to take the next steps in your marketing. What are your business goals? So many companies we talk to just do marketing. I'm doing marketing. Woo! Doing marketing. Woo! You have no idea what we're trying to accomplish with that marketing. And everybody's goals are going to be different. If you're 1 year in the business compared to 50 years in the business, that's going to look completely different. Your customers' journeys, their path to find you. We're going to talk about that and identify what that looks like. Oops. Current marketing. What are you doing for your current marketing? Start to assess that. Why are you doing it? Is it working? What's working? What's not? Should you be doing it? Should you not be doing it? What success looks like. What I love about marketing today is everything is tangible and measurable. Almost absolutely everything. And then we're going to talk about the tactics that are available today that can bring these to life. Sound fair? All right. So I gave you a sneak peek at the first one. This is where we're going to start to get a little bit more interactive. So your customers. This is a much bigger group than this usually is, by the way. Usually it's much more intimate and I can hear everybody. So this is going to be interesting to see how this goes. But what do you know about your customers? But before we go into that, why is it important to know who your customers are or who your potential customers are? Why do we think that that's important? There's a bunch of different reasons. Number one, targeting. Today, so just to let everybody know, I think everybody knows, the internet's tracking absolutely everything your customers are doing. From a marketing perspective, that's great, because we can actually see and target people by their age. Are they single? Are they married? All of these traits are all on you, and you can find this in Google. What is their life stage? Did they just retire? Did they just move? How old is their home? How big is their land? All of these data points can be utilized. There's something happening in the world, if anybody's sort of seen this, is that Google is getting rid of cookies. So cookies are actually that, little breadcrumb trails that we leave about our activities online. So that's going away. So your first-party data and what you know about your customers is going to be vitally important moving forward to understand how and who, the message, and how you're conveying that to them every step of the way. Does that make sense? So it's very, very important Anybody have anything quirky about their customers they know about? They have certain jobs, they have any? There's a lot of different traits that I see some people laughing, like, yeah, I know this one lady, she's Anyway, they're the customers, they're always right? Okay. Whoops. Hang on, nobody saw that. I'm bad with this clicker. Okay, this is where we're going to get, I need your feedback. What we're going to do is play a little game. And this is where you're going to need your voice. We're going somewhere with this. I'm going to show you a bunch of logos. These are logos that you're going to know. All I want you to do, don't think too much. Just yell out the first thing that comes to mind when you see these logos. Okay, you ready? You ready? Okay, here we go. Louder, I can't hear you. Short distance, did somebody say? Technology. What else? Not about the guy, about the brand, okay? What's that? Good car brand? Good car brand. We've got some different perceptions right off the bat about Tesla. If I put Elon Musk's face up there, that would go pretty good too. All right, what about this one? Delicious, I heard. Greasy? Somebody say over here? Great fries. Gut rot. What else we got? McNuggets. $1. Children. Yeah, catering to children. So starting to feel how these brands, you have an equity built for them. You have perceptions on them. You're not actually in the market. Is anybody? No, everybody just ate, so we're not hungry for McDonald's. Might be different before lunch. What about this one? We got a clap up here. Losers. Different perceptions on the Leafs from everybody there. Hopeful. There we go, 1967. Here we come. Okay. Chanel. Overpriced. Botox. That's an interesting one. Expensive. Overrated. Different perceptions. That was a man who said overrated, so I don't know if we trust that, but anyway. I'm sure it's a fine handbag. What about this one? Sports. Just do it. We know their slogan. Active. So Nike really embodies that for everybody. So, okay. That was fun. Now, put yourself in a situation. What city are you from, sir? Where's your business?
Orangeville.
Orangeville. Okay. So your city, gentlemen's in Orangeville, we get a group of 100 people in Orangeville to sit down, and we put your logo up there. Everybody, we put your logo up there in front of your city. What are they going to yell about? What's We love Randy. There we go. There you go. Everybody knows Randy. What are they going to scream about you? Quality. There we go. Will they be able to scream anything at all? Do they know that you exist? Do your right customers that we just talked about and described know that you exist? Which is a really, really important part of the customer journey. What we just experienced. So has anybody seen this or a version of this before? This is the customer journey. So these are the philosophical steps that we take before we purchase anything. That red box at the end. So with McDonald's, you're going to go through that really quick. I'm like, hungry, McDonald's. If they've done a good job at branding themselves and creating awareness. Why do you think they have billboards everywhere? I want to make sure they capture you when you hit that purchase intent trigger, which we're going to talk about. So to paint a picture of this, I want you to start to understand what your customer journeys look like. We've identified who those customers are. But Google did a study. So for a vehicle, anybody buy a car? Never? On average, it takes somebody 3 months to arrive on purchase when purchasing a vehicle. There's over 900 digital touch points going through this funnel for a vehicle. So if you think about that, your customers, who they are, who we've identified, they're there. What does their path to purchase look like? How long is it? And how are you effectively getting in front of them every step of the way? What's important to you is what we're going to get into next. But identifying, see that red line up there? The purchase intent trigger? I want to take a shot at what a purchase intent trigger mean. What does that mean? Yeah, their commitment to want to buy. They've identified something that, you know what? I need landscape services. I need a contractor in here. So think about what your customers' purchase intent triggers are, and I'll give you some hints. And this might not be right. I'm not a contractor. Do I look like I'd be good with a hammer? No. So it's pretty small, but I'm going to see this. Maybe they recently moved. Does real estate have a big bearing in terms of how busy you guys are? Somebody recently moving into a new place? Just notice deterioration in their landscaping. Could be a simple one. Receive recommendations from a family or friends. Hey, your lawn looks like beep. Seeing an advertisement. Just getting that inspiration. Realizing the potential return on investment. Or maybe they're hosting a special event. Their wedding is coming back in their backyard. Which is interesting to think about. When we talked about targeting your messaging, these purchase intent triggers are very interesting. Does anybody write content on their websites? Does anyone do blogging or put stuff on their videos, stuff like that? I see a hand up there. A couple of people clapping and raising hands. So if you know who your customers are, you know what their purchase intent triggers are, you can start to look at content that's going to resonate with that audience, maybe in the awareness stage, maybe in the research stage, and every step of the way, along the way. So identifying and understanding who your customers are, what their path to purchase looks like is super important. Humans have a 7-second attention span. It's getting worse. Goldfish have 8. We're losing to the goldfish. With everything that's happening with TikTok and scrolling and everything, people's attention spans are dwindling. So reverting back to the funnel, do you know how many times it takes to get your message in front of somebody before they'll take action now? It's close, 17. It's 14 to 16, so bang on. So you need to get your message in front of somebody almost 15 times, 16 times before they'll actually take that action. Gone are the days of putting up a billboard, running a radio ad, running a newspaper ad one time and getting a whole bunch of calls. People need to be actively influenced. We need to stimulate the demand for your brand, as we call it, in terms of getting these people across the finish line. And everybody's going to be different. This is where we're going to start to talk about business goals. And everybody's going to be different. So we're going to play a little game again. You guys okay with that? Okay, I got to remember how I structured this. Okay. Everybody put their hand up. This is it. There we go. Everybody put their hand up. If you've been in business for 1 year or less, put your hand down. 3 years or less, put your hand down. Are anybody's hands down? Everybody still up? 5 years or less, put your hand down. 7 years or less. 10 years or less. 15 years or less. 20 years or less? Holy moly. 25. Right here, 24, no. 30. not even 30. 35. Holy moly. 40. 45. 50. Okay, we got the point here. Who's been in business the longest? 60? We got 69? Conan Nursery's 118, everybody. Put your hands together for that. Unbelievable. What's actually an interesting point. It kind of goes against what I was going to talk about, but it's actually really good to talk about that as well. Because even though they've been in business for so long, we're still marketing, getting content in front of people at all stages of the funnel and the customer journey for Conan Nurseries every single year, which is interesting to think about. However, everybody's going to be different. Oh, that didn't come up pretty well. So the people who put their hands down early, what are your business goals? And I've painted some up here. Again, I'm not a landscaper, but I've done my best to try to paint this. So do you want to build more brand awareness? Do you want to make sure that more people know that you exist? Building your brand equity. Establishing credibility and trust. That's a big part about landscaping. We were just talking with this table over here where somebody that was new in the game had to do 5 or 6 quotes where they were only doing 1 and getting the same amount of work. That trust and that credibility is huge in all sorts of different businesses. There's ways to do that through content, through different ways. Acquiring initial clients if you're a new landscaper. Do you want new clients? Pandemic has disrupted every industry, especially house and home. So there's some need to get back into filling up your funnel and getting those customers, potential customers, into your wheelhouse all throughout those stages. Maybe you want to develop strategic partnerships. Maybe you want to start to get into the cities and the hospitals and the condos and things like that, which is going to require different kind of marketing, more one-to-one type stuff. And definitely you need to do that brand awareness building and credibility building before you're going to get those types of jobs. Financial stability. Again, pandemic has disrupted. Do you need to start diversifying what you're doing, getting in with the latest trends, or maybe taking on different jobs that you wouldn't have before? Marketing can help every single one of these business goals. If you're an established landscaper, maybe you're looking to expand those services, different types of services, adding on to your existing customers who are doing this, and now you want to add to that. Increasing market share. As possibly the pandemic has shifted things and market share becomes slimmer, you're fighting for that business more than you ever have before. So you need to compete for that market share and get in front of that audience as much as you possibly can. Enhancing customer loyalty. I know that's a big thing we do here at Conan with the Grow Direct program to the home gardener. We're constantly getting that loyalty program in place and getting more filled up there so that we can get consistent customers coming back with those different discounts and things like that. So if you want to do that, if you're established. This is an interesting one, streamlining operations. If you're established and you're very busy, maybe there's an infrastructure through a website that needs to be created to streamline the ability to get back to people who are contacting you. Or different types of technologies that are readily available that allow you to do more of what you like to do and more of what you want to focus on. So there's that part of marketing as well. Sustainable growth, looking at different geographies, looking at different places, and things like that. Again, some of these resonating with you. I see some people writing some stuff down. This is going to be vitally important. I'm going to paint a picture with this little graphic here, with this little cartoon. I'm going to go read it out. What's the big campaign idea? We're going digital, Facebook, YouTube, a mobile app, Pinterest. Well, what are we going to do with those channels? I don't know, we'll figure it out later. So many businesses I talk to. Yeah, we're doing marketing. Yeah, doing the Google, doing the Facebook. All right, here we go. What's your business goal? What are you trying to accomplish? Because what we're going to talk about next is something I referred to earlier, and that's how the metrics can actually back up these business goals to see if it's actually working. And this is what we do now more of than anything. And I've said I wasn't going to use acronyms, but KPIs and analytics. Anyone take a guess what KPIs are? Anybody? Key performance indicators. I think it's not just in marketing, it's in everything. So key performance indicators. The first one really excites me. So building brand awareness. How the heck do you tell if you're building brand awareness? Anybody use Google Analytics here? Some people. Basically, it's a tool to look at what the behavior is happening on your website. What we can actually see from that are more people Googling your brand. What's the name of your company, Randy? Randy Tumber. We want to see, month over month, more people Googling Randy Tumber. 50 people this month. 100 people next month. 200 people next month. That behavior, think about the things that you Google. You're taking the time out of your day to do that activity. Or the sites you go to directly, so direct traffic to the site. You're doing that with intent. You're doing that. You're taking the time out of your day. The message that you're putting out there is resonating with that audience. It's super powerful. Because when we see the brand awareness stuff happening, we see it coming out of the bottom in terms of leads coming out. This is one big ecosystem. That everything that goes in will come out, but measuring those metrics. Sorry, I really got hung up on that part, but you can see how excited I get at brand awareness and brand search and people coming directly to websites. These are the things that we want to focus on with this, any marketing that you're doing to understand if it's having that impact. Establishing credibility. How do we get more testimonials? How do we get more Google reviews? Are you getting more Google reviews? Putting that on automation. So when you do a job, boom, email goes out to that customer. You got that Google review, which is super important along the way, and we'll talk about that on the customer journey. Converting leads into customers, so acquiring initial clients. You can actually put triggers on your website now that'll show you how many people clicked the call button, how many people filled out the form, and where they came from. Did they come through your social post? Did they come through Google? Did they come through here? Did they read a blog first and then did that? So you can understand what that path to purchase looks like as well. Strategic partnerships, looking for key referrals, building up that brand awareness along the way as well. And then looking at financial stability and just looking at the overall cost structure, your cost per acquisition. So cost per acquisition is really important in marketing. So if you spend $100 and get 10 leads, each of those leads costs you $10. If every 10 leads turns into one job, then and every job is an average of $10,000, then it costs you $100 for every $10,000, your return on ad spend. And these are the trackabilities that we have today to understand those pieces in terms of measuring the marketing success. So established landscape companies, they want to expand their services. So they want to increase the percentage share. Again, that brand search piece. More leads coming out of the end. Increasing market share. How much more customer traffic do you have this year compared to last year? That's going to start to give us indication of that market penetration. How many more customers do you have this year compared to last year? Customer retention rate. Anybody do email marketing? Send out emails to their customers? Nobody, not a lot. Super powerful. One of the best return on investments you can make in any marketing. Collect people's email addresses. There's going to be a lot more you can do with those email addresses moving forward as well. We'll talk a little bit about that when it comes to social media. But that's a great way to push out your you don't think your competitors are trying to infiltrate those people. If you have their email addresses and you're sending them, here's the latest trends in gardening or different things at the beginning of the season, that's going to start to engage them and keep you top of mind. All right. Assessing your current marketing. Looking at the time here. Jeez. Has anybody, show of hands, who's doing Facebook stuff? Facebook stuff? Instagram stuff as well? Ooh, more Instagram stuff. Cool. And is, show of hands, who's posting on Facebook and Instagram? Who's doing organic posting? Outsourced? Is anybody doing paid Facebook? Some hands up there. Paid Instagram? Same thing. What about Google? Google Ads? Google AdWords? People are doing relevant terms, populating to the top of those searches. Some people are doing that. Anybody working on their SEO? Search engine. Oh, we got a hand back there. Nice. So there's basically two places you can appear in all of these channels, organically and in the paid environments. Organically, so on social media, try to build followers and gain people who want to like you and things like that. So when you post something, it's going to the people who already know who you are. So it's a nurturing type of tactic. But do you know Mr. Zuckerberg has created these algorithms for your businesses that will actually only reach your organic posts 2.5% of the people that follow you now. On average, 2.5% of the people if you're organically posting. So they're not going as far as they used to. Why? Because they want you to pay. So it's super important that we're understanding that who that audience is, but in the paid environment, there's some really, really cool things that can be done with social media these days. And I'm talking about Facebook and Meta specifically, but across the other channels, YouTube and everything in terms of a targeting aspect side of things. Anybody doing TikTok? Anyone? TikTok? You want to show us a TikTok dance? No? Okay. Yeah, TikTok, again, understanding who your customers are they living within that channel? Is it worth the time and effort to put into those specific channels? They might be in the market down the road. It's typically a younger audience that is reaching, and you can get a ton of impressions on that channel, but we've yet to see any real sort of oomph from that. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the customer journey. This is where we're going to tie everything together. So we've identified our customers. We know who they are. So depending on where your business is at and what your business goals are, there's all sorts of different tactics and ways of getting in front of those customers every step of the way. So we talk about the targeting. Let's target the neighborhoods you want to get into. So all of these tactics we're talking about can target in this way. Targeting neighborhoods. Targeting them by life stage. They've recently retired. I'm just making this up in terms of a customer profile. They've recently moved. Their household income is $150,000 plus, and their marital status is married. So let's just say that's our target. Facebook and Instagram, which we just talked about, from a paid media perspective. There's a bunch of different ways, and why Facebook works so well when it comes to marketing is because they know everything about you and your customers. Why? Because your customers have told them. They tell them where they live. They tell them where they work. They know how much money they make. They post pictures of their family. They post pictures of their house. They can tell if they have a lawn. All of this information, this first-party data, is why our friend Mr. Zuckerberg is worth so much money. They know so much about you. So what's interesting about that is there's this new technology via a pixel that goes onto the website. So it's called a metapixel. It goes onto your website, and as you start to run campaigns, it'll start to retarget that audience. It'll start to create lookalike audiences based on people taking a specific action on your website. So if they filled out a form, it'll start to go, hey, who was that? Where do they live? Who are they? Based on all of that data, and start to target more people like them, household income, all of that stuff. And so as it learns, these algorithms get smarter and better along the way. And so Facebook and Instagram can actually touch people in the awareness stage, in consideration, And as your brand ambassadors, if you're posting, you want them to share that type of content. Encourage people to share, send that virally across the internet. As a business goal, if you're looking to get more awareness, you might want to start participating in community events, wrapping yourself around these different types of activities that'll get you that exposure, that one-to-one with each one of these customers, building that sort of intimacy. Content marketing. So we talked about those purchase intent triggers. What are those topics that should be on your website so when somebody Googles backyard wedding trends, that your site populates to the top of Google searches and people are coming into your website looking at the landscaping. Landscape wedding trends, all sorts of different terms that you want to create this content for once you've identified who your customers are. It's sort of in the awareness stage. Google. As people start to embark upon their Google searches and start to look at these different places, really want to make sure that you're either in the organic environment, in the paid environment at the very top, or both places occupying more space on Google. Fact of the matter is, I think it's 95% of people use Google to search. The other 5% don't know they're using Bing. So they can actually find, but really what you want your Google ads to do is when somebody Googles landscaper near me, or contract different types of terms that you want to resonate for, that they're actually clicking and calling you. We want to see conversions on that Google tactic specifically, on Google AdWords specifically. Retargeting. Anyone know what retargeting is? I talked about it earlier. Exactly. So you ever go to a website and then you leave that website and that ad just follows you everywhere you go? How many times does it take to get your message in front of somebody before they'll take action? 16, 14, 16, around that number. Retargeting is so powerful. Because if somebody's clicked on your stuff or been to your website, they have a 7-second attention span, remember, and it takes 14 times to take action. So by clicking on your website, coming to your website, for some reason, they've qualified themselves in that funnel somewhere. What retargeting does, it reinforces that message and starts to get more ads in front of that user who's already been qualified. I know that it can be annoying. I know that but it works. It gets more repeat visitors back and more conversions back on that side of things. So if you kind of flip this thing on its side, it's kind of like a funnel. So you're getting way more people aware, and you're starting to actively influence them with your brand and your messaging along the way. And these retargeting ads are much more powerful. There's something in your brain called your reticular activator, and I'll prove to you that it works. And this is a thing. Anyone ever buy a car? And so when you bought that car, before you bought that car, you never saw that car. And now since you bought that car, you see the exact same color and the exact same car driving everywhere, but you never saw it before. So these ads kick in your reticular activator, which is a part of your brain which makes you see familiar things. And so these ads become much more powerful than any other ads out there. It's the same reason why we go, how many have said this? They're listening to me. They're listening to me. I just talked about this. Fact of the matter is you're probably getting that ad every time. Because now you said it and it's at the top of your mind, now you're seeing that ad. Google reviews, huge in your business. They're going to reach people while they're considering you in different companies. So always, always, always have some sort of Google review campaign going that your good customers are filling out these Google reviews because they are getting looked at like crazy. And finally, email marketing, which we just talked about, end of the funnel. People who know who you are, get those emails out to them to make sure they're choosing you this season. And that's all I got. I want to thank everybody. I hope that we accomplished our goals together in terms of understanding who your customers are and how everybody is different. And I hope that you can take something back from today and bring it to life for yourself. So thank you very much, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day. And thank you to Conan and everybody here. Thank you.